911, what's your emergency?
On May 15, 2010, high school student Andrew Kahn died after a collision during a baseball game that triggered commotio cordis, a fatal heart rhythm. There was no AED available at the field where Andrew was playing, and although an assistant coach performed CPR until an ambulance arrived, it was too late. Tournament officials claimed that many leagues cannot afford to place a defibrillator on each playfield, making Andrew's tragic death a shocking example of the impact of slow emergency response times.
Each year, U.S. emergency medical services respond to about 240 million 911 calls. 11.7 million of these calls are life-threatening, including incidents such as cardiac arrest and stroke, where the first 5 minutes have proven critical for a patient's survivability and long-term health. Life-threatening situations require timely emergency response. For example, the American Red Cross found that every minute, survivability decreases by 7 to 10% for patients in out-of-hospital cardiac arrest. This becomes a large-scale issue when considering that the average urban and rural response times are both above the 5-minute threshold, with the national average over 15 minutes. Reducing U.S. response times by 1 minute is even projected to save 150,000 American lives and $7 billion in healthcare expenditures yearly.
We are Reflex. We are a team of 6 Georgia Tech students with the mission to answer one question. How might we reduce resource disparity between urban and rural emergency response by delivering life-saving medical equipment via drone within the critical intervention period of an emergency incident?
After speaking with 911 call centers in DeKalb, Gwinnett, and Cobb County, we uncovered that a disparity lies between urban and rural response times. There needs to be a way to deliver life-saving medical equipment to victims in rural areas as fast as in large urban areas. Resource disparities combined with lower funding, slower response times, and fewer trained professionals leave rural Americans at a severe disadvantage when it comes to accessible life-saving devices.
In validating our problem space, we found a unique challenge in providing rural Americans with life-saving medical devices due to a lower density of medical services and professionals. A key insight from our first-person interviews was the impact that bystanders can have before EMS arrives. Since bystanders usually make the 911 call, a solution does not require a professional to arrive in the first 5 minutes every time, and instead providing the bystander with the necessary equipment to administer aid would greatly improve victim survivability.
We believe that drone delivery may serve as an effective solution. Drone technology is becoming more and more prevalent in the urban healthcare space, through companies like UPS and Flirty, and Zipline's successes demonstrate the potential for market expansion into the rural space. In addition, studies have validated the effectiveness of drone response in rural areas, one finding that drones on average arrive 19 minutes faster than ambulances at the site of emergency. UPS and Zipline have just recently received waivers from the FAA, suggesting that the market and regulations are opening up to these ideas, showing realistic potential for our solution.
We envision a system where drones are dispatched alongside the ambulance, delivering equipment autonomously with live communication to the call taker until first responders arrive. There are no companies currently delivering medical supplies in a rural space, despite the data we've found demonstrating the effect a fast response would have. Additionally, we have explored several facets of the space. Our interviews with EMS led us to enter the rural space, and our discussion with drone specialists and startups have projected a path to success for this solution. In terms of our stakeholders, we have spoken to over 20 potential customers, finding the most promise in areas where public ambulance services and national parks.
Reflex delivers medical equipment within the critical intervention period after an incident occurs. We aspire to design a modular drone capable of filling the gaps in various EMS programs along with software integration into the respective emergency dispatch software. While further research is required to fully understand the cost of the service we are proposing, we believe this to be a more cost-effective solution than purchasing ambulances, hiring more first responders, or focusing on expensive life flight capabilities in the long run. Our MVP aims to deliver AEDs with the hope of expanding to a wider range of medical equipment. For initial development for our software, we begin by handling simple control algorithms that allow flight between 2 waypoints. In terms of developing a drone, several industry experts have advised us to begin by purchasing a commercial drone and performing modifications to develop a minimum viable product. With funding from grant challenges, we'd invest in acquiring a base drone that we can modify to meet our requirements for MVP. Using this combination of drone and software, we'd be capable of dispatching a modified commercial drone to a GPS location to deliver a payload. With the current global pandemic, it is becoming clear that the healthcare infrastructure is in dire need of automation. Using drones to deliver medical equipment ensures fast response times, better connection with professional care, and a consistent distribution of medical equipment. Our drones are meant to enhance the current EMS system by playing to the system's strengths and filling in the gaps. Join Reflex, and together we can respond to this emergency. We'll see you next year. Thank you.